welcome to another movie review. This is my final movie review for the Friday the 13th franchise, and it is Friday the 13th, the remake from 2009. Now, this movie was released on February 13th, 2009, and it had a $19 million budget, and it made $92.7 million at the box office. This movie currently holds a 25% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 5.6 out of 10 on IMDb, an 89% on Google, and CinemaScore gave this movie an average grade of a B- on an A+ to F grade scale. And this movie was directed by Marcus Nispel and written by Damien Shannon and Mark Swift. This movie stars Jared Padalecki, Caleb Gus, Derek Mears, Travis Van Winkle, Daniel Panabaker, and Willa Ford. I'm sorry. And this movie, Jared Padalecki is in Supernatural. His co-star did the remake of My Bloody Valentine in 2009 as well. So they're both doing their own movies. But Jason is portrayed by Derek Mears, who does a fantastic job in this movie. He's not the greatest, Jason, but he's in there. He's one of the best. But first, this movie is a remake, basically, and it fits all three original films in. Some say it fits the fourth film in. I don't really see that. But the beginning of the movie, you see what happens in the first Friday the 13th briefly. Then it goes to what would be part two. Jason has the knapsack on his head with the one eye. A group of kids go to searching for marijuana. And two of them stumble upon Camp Crystal Lake. They go check it out. And the other three are at the camp. Two go have sex. The other one, the goofy guy with glasses and doesn't have a girlfriend, goes in search of the marijuana and finds it. And, well, we know what happens there. But the music in this movie is really good, especially that scene when he's looking for the marijuana. But this movie tells completely different things. It shows how Jason was able to get around so quick in certain areas. He had tunnels underneath, so he was able to move quickly. And like I said, spoiler alerts if you haven't seen the movie. But, yeah. Also, like I said, he has the knapsack on his head. He has the shrine of his mother in the bathtub and everything. And he goes after the kids. The one pays homage to part 7 with the sleeping bag, although it is really about what happens to her. Another guy gets his foot caught in a bear trap. The other one gets stabbed up through the floor when they're in the cabin. Oh, that creeps me out. But the guy that gets his foot caught in the bear trap, Jason comes running up and just hits him in the head with a knife and basically splits his head. And then the last girl, Winnie, is the sister of Clay, played by Jared Padalecki. And we think she's dead because Jason runs after her and you see the knife come forward and she screams. And then it comes across Friday the 13th. That is one of the best openings for a horror movie of all time, in my opinion. And yeah, I love this movie. I love the remake. 6 weeks later, it moves forward, and Clay is looking for his sister. He's putting up these pictures and everything, and he comes across this old lady. He asks about his sister, and she's like, she ain't missing. She's dead. And she says, it just wants to be left alone. She's referring to Jason, and yeah, it's really creepy. But there's a new group of kids who are going to uh, Trent's house, played by Travis Van Winkle, and yeah, he is a douchebag in this movie. He's the one that I can't stand. A lot of people can't stand his character. There are some other likable characters, though. Uh, of course, when they get to the house, Trent's so uptight. They're playing drinking games, but he doesn't. It's like he doesn't want them to have any fun, and he thinks he's some big time, ladies man. And the one girl wasn't having it, and she took a liking to Clay, which I was happy about. But then there's another one there that we'll get to in a minute. Uh, but Jenna, Chelsea is the girl that Trent hooks up with, and it's comical. Their dialogue back and forth. But we find out Jason has Clay's sister captive. She's not dead, and she's been in the tunnels for that entire time. And so the new kids get there. They do their thing. Two of them take a boat out, which we never find out what happens to the boat. They're out on the lake when Trent told them not to take the boat out. They did it anyway. And he's shot in the head through an arrow. And she's hit by the boat. She goes to hide underneath the dock from Jason after she sees him. And he just stabs her in the top of the head, lifts up her body, and the knife comes out, and he just walks off. But we never find out what happens to the boat. There's no explosion. There's no nothing. So, something had to happen, that someone's going to hear something. That's one thing I think they should have explained in the movie. They briefly say that the two never came back, but how do you know that if there's no boat or anything? And then they all start to panic. A cop shows up. He gets his eye taken out, and then the only black guy in the movie, of course, typical. Jason, he knows he can't catch him. He throws his hatchet in his back, and he basically is trying to lure him out there, and it doesn't work. Jason ends up just finishing him off. But getting to Trent is the biggest douche in this movie, and so he, Clay, and the other last girl take off in the woods. Trent's on his own. He runs into this guy who has a tow truck, and then Jason just nails him. I was so freaking happy. He ends up piercing him through the back of the tow truck, and the tow truck just takes off with him. I actually clapped during that scene. I thought that was great. I was so happy that happened. But we have Clay, his sister, and another girl who you think is going to be the final three. Well, the one girl actually gets killed about 10 minutes before the movie ends. And then you have the brother and sister duo who take it to Jason in this movie, and I really enjoyed it. But this, like I said, it throws in the first three movies where you see Jason's mother being decapitated. Then he has the sack on his head. But then he finds a mask when he kills this hillbilly pot smoker. And so he transitions to the mask just about halfway through the movie, which I think is a great homage to the first three original films. Some say like I said, they pay homage to the fourth film and some others, which is why I mentioned the sleeping bag. But regardless, this is a fantastic remake. I enjoyed this one. I loved the My Bloody Valentine 3D. I went to the theaters to see that one. I went to the theaters to see this one. Both were sold out. I went to the Nightmare on Elm Street for 2010, and that one was sold out. I enjoyed all three remakes. the Halloween remakes, I enjoyed as well. So, yeah, remakes are really good in my opinion. A lot of people may not like them, but that's their cup of tea. I think Derek Mears did a very good job as Jason, although he's not the best in the franchise. We all know who is number one, and that's Kane Hodder. But other than that, in the comment section below, if you've seen this movie, give me your thoughts and opinions. And let me know what your ranking of the Friday the 13th movies are, 1 through 12. I'm not including Never Hike Alone, but I may do a review of it. I'm probably going to have to watch it again. I do recommend that you watch it, but I won't do a review of it as part of this series. But yeah, let me know what your ranking is, or let me know what your favorite movie in the franchise is. Mine is, like I said, back when I did Friday the 13th Part 2, is Friday the 13th Part 2. So, other than that, I will give Friday the 13th, the remake, a 8 out of 10. And yeah, definitely check it out. It is a fantastic remake. Other than that, I thank you guys for watching this movie review and my reviews of all 12 Friday the 13th movies. Look forward to my review of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise coming in the next days. And if you like this review, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's talk about some freaking movies. I love talking about movies. But other than that, I thank you for watching, and check you later.